say just about everything in Australia is designed to kill you and be able to follow through on it.
Indeed.
Yep.
And we are live.
And with that, hello. I don't think there's anyone in Australia watching us, but welcome, one and all, to
But if
the
you
Bully
are.
Rollers. If we are, I mean, they make that joke all the time, but it's not really a joke. It's just a statement of fact.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Everybody else thinks it's a joke, but Australians know it is a statement.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. So, we are short two this evening. They will be joining us in a little bit, but I'm going to be able to maneuver the story around our Waymakers who are at the moment resting. But before we get to that, Jesse has won our roll for prayer. So, Jesse, when you are ready, take us before the Lord.
All right, let's go talk to our Father. Dear Lord, thank you, Lord, for your goodness and grace. Thank you, Lord, just for your presence, for your goodness, for your many, many blessings you pour out on us. Pray for this evening, for our fellowship, that you will bless it, that you will use it, that your will be done. Pray that you will guide the story, guide our actions, guide our words, so that what we do glorifies you and also points to you. Pray for each person here and each person watching, that you will make your presence known to them, that they will grow in their relationship with you. Praise you and thank you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
So, last time the Waymakers left the corruption zone proper, made their way into Darodel upon navigating a minefield with Cinnamon and her Keyblade Rasadan's aid, found that the expedition force had made it to Darodel. And when they get to Tirza in the chapel, they learn it is because a month has passed since they entered the corruption zone proper. Through tense couple of exchanges, some involving Run, for once using a skull to express and get them out of a situation that Minerva was escalating by accident. They were rewarded by Tirza with a hero's feast. Aha!
Love it. Although I don't think it'll beat the Chewbacca mask, but
Yeah, no, that was something special. Which that hero's feast, when the Waymakers awaken after their long rest, they will all have gained an additional 12 HP to their max, and all but Bazil will have their exhaustion removed, as Bazil's at level 2. So he will go down to level 1. But when we left off, the Waymakers did not want to leave Denia unguarded, given when they walked through town, Denia was carrying the flaming greatsword of Damascus steel that Uli gave her. Tirza was not too happy about this for
Bazil
obvious reason. Bazil gave. So Uli offered first watch because he needed to take a moment in this lull to make some notes in his journal and record some of the events. Trakthor, or was it going to be Minerva that would have taken No, Trakthor would have been last watch. Minerva and Run would have been second watch, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
But where we left off, Bazil rolled into his cauldron, as he always does, but found himself suddenly in a different room, surrounded by Castuman agents in robes, and was informed that a trial was about to begin, and the lead figure removed their hoods to reveal Bazil's father. I'll not be going right back to that, as Bazil is not presently here. So, we will return to the sanctuary, where the Waymakers are currently resting. Uli, about 2 hours into your watch. Let's go 3. I need you to please roll me a perception.
Wow, that stinkeroos. Oh, and it's at disadvantage.
Yep, you are still.
4 plus 9, so that's a 12.
So you got a 12. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You. By that point, it has been fully dark. You hear the sound of Drakthor snoring, because I imagine Drakthor snores.
Yeah, like a freight train.
Everyone is in their lull. Is there anything specific in this time in your journal that you make a point to highlight about either the immediate events within the corruption zone or the last several days since the last time you sat down to take note of what has transpired?
Yeah, there's a couple things. He's going to take special note of what we learned about the twin and the skeleton and the skull and how it seems to be connected to the true roots. And what we learned about needing to awaken it, etc. So there's that aspect of it. What we learned from Denia and what she had discovered in the corruption zone. And last, how the sword reacted to it. And I'll write down a lot of my questions I have about what does that mean, and et cetera, et cetera.
The remainder of your shift passes seemingly uneventfully. It's quiet. There's something partially calming, also partially spending time in a sanctuary with like dim candlelight. There's something oddly calming about it. Before long, you kind of do a check outside one of the windows to kind of see, first to see where the moon is. Like, oh wait, no, I can't see the moon. So you go off your internal clock of, well, I'm assuming by this point it will be time to wake Minerva and run. Which, on that, Minerva, could you please roll me a single d20?
Six.
Yep. You feel a slight tapping as you awaken to see Uli standing over you.
Am I letting her know it's her time for a shift? Gotcha. Oh, everything seems to be good. Nice and quiet. Time for me to get some shut-eye, though.
Very well. I will get up and replace his spot and take watch.
Now, Minerva, I have a question for you.
Here we go.
Run did,
Yes?
Run did specify he wanted to do watch with you. That said, he does look like he is resting rather soundly. Do you wish to let him rest and take this watch alone? Or do you wish to honor what he said and wake him?
Yeah, he's a friend. I'm not gonna screw him like that. If he wants to be involved, he can be involved. So I will walk over to his ruck and jostle him gently.
Run, you are awoken.
I'll
I'm
growl at her for just the brief moment of kind of that what in the world. It's just kind of this when I look up and see
Did you want to take watch with me?
and I'll stretch my little legs, stretch my little arms, get my little skull, and off we go.
Imagine he's like,
Yeah. I definitely make the skull yawn, 100%.
I need the two of you to please give me perceptions.
Perception, you say?
Yes.
Oh, there it is. 17.
Plus 6, so a d20 plus 6 is 22.
As a reminder, your long rest is not officially kicked in, so if you haven't rolled at disadvantage, please roll at disadvantage, both of you.
9.
13.
Where do you position yourselves inside the sanctuary for your watch?
I would probably say kind of towards the back, maybe not necessarily right against the door, but, basically just kind of covering the points of entrance.
Minerva, are you with Run, or are you a bit on the other side of the sanctuary?
I think that I would be a little more relaxed than previous watches might have, allowed me to entertain. So I'm actually probably with him.
In this opening part of your watch, do you guys stay quiet? Is there anything you wish to say or bring up during this time?
I don't like that skull. Creeps me out. What do you see in that thing, anyway?
It's my friend.
I thought I was your friend.
Well, I thought you were more than a friend.
I still have that bug somewhere.
It's rolling around your digestion.
That's
Yes. We've had a lot of interesting interactions with relics of various entities. Do tell me if that thing starts to talk to you, won't you?
Sure.
Or otherwise seems to be influencing you, or if its presence just seems ominous.
That is a 12 on deception, by the way.
What would you have me roll to contest that? Insight?
Yes.
Would that be with flat or not flat? Would that be with disadvantage again?
Yes.
Did you
Once
roll with
you're along-
disadvantage?
Yes.
Okay.
It hadn't started
That was
talking to me, but if it does.
So I just met it. Let's see if I roll lower. Nope, I rolled higher. So meets beats. I rolled a 12.
Nice. So, Minerva, I'd say with meets beats, you It's Run. So he's a rapscallion.
At times he lies like he breathes.
Yeah. So I'd say it's not complete cause for concern with his kind of like trying to hide, but at the same time we're going, I mean, if you didn't, I would be a little more concerned.
Fair.
Mm-hmm.
And on that Run, as you say this to Minerva, your kobold ears pick something up.
I'll stop like mid sentence and go like full blown German Shepherd, just ears straight up like Batman. Just oh.
There sounded like somebody passing one of the walls just outside the window.
I'll like scurry down and get closer to the door, and I'll just kind of like start sniffing it out.
I'm gonna be following him like a dog handler and be like, "What is it, boy?"
So then, Run, I need you to give me an investigation
Okay.
flat.
Because I'm helping.
Flat, you say? That is a 17.
Not bad, not bad.
That's
With a
darn
plus
good
zero.
You head to the door and you're like, hold the skull up to the other side of the door like a mimicking sniffing. Minerva, you haven't heard anything. You don't really know what Run. He clearly is sensing something. You don't see anything, can't hear anything, you don't smell anything.
He may just have to go to the bathroom.
I mean, that is
Run.
entirely possible.
You are detecting a lingering scent that is dissipating. Like when somebody passes by and their smell lingers before just gradually dissipating into the air.
What's it smell like?
It smells like Tirza.
I'll look.
But no one heard a door open.
Yeah.
But clearly you heard someone moving, and when you go to investigate, you detect her scent.
I'll turn to Minerva,
Fading.
and the mouth of the skeleton will drop open, and I'll be like, "That was Tirza."
What on earth would she want?
I don't know. But
Remind me,
I
Deanna,
don't want this.
Yeah, me neither. Tirza was the mom?
Yes, Tirza
Oh,
is Denaya's mom. She is the priestess of this chapel. She is the
That's
mama
right.
bear.
Well, she's, entitled to wander around her own chapel anytime.
But this is not in her chapel. This is
We're not-
outside the chapel.
We're not
That
sleeping
Run
in
is smelling.
No, we're
You're sleeping in
right.
the sanctuary.
whoever's outside,
Gotcha.
but we didn't hear.
Gotcha. What could she possibly be looking for? Her daughter has the sword. We're just here to sleep.
I don't know.
I look at him. I look at him.
Want this.
I look at him sideways
about-
and I say, "Do you think it's that skull? Do you think it's setting off her holy senses?"
That better not be.
I mean, if anything's going to, it's probably a skull that we pulled out of the cursed zone.
But what?
That
You're gonna hurt its feelings. And I'll take it and kind of put it underneath my arm. Yeah, just like that, Jesse. Kind of tuck
my
it
lord.
in.
Two things. One, it is about 2:30 in the morning. Going on 3. For context about what time of the night this is taking place. 2, whatever little scent is there is just about gone.
We'll ask her about it in the morning. Back to watch.
Yeah, I thought so. I don't like this though.
Well, I can't name very much I have liked in that same sense. Probably since I met this group, come to think of it. I
Yeah,
wonder if the two are related.
yeah, you hang out with some pretty weird people.
Yeah. I put a rock in a bag and this is what shook out, so. You, at least, I chose.
Run's little green scales will just kind of blush a little.
He goes full kawaii.
That's right.
Oh my lord. Well, back to watch.
The remainder of your watch passes uneventfully. Soon it's time to get Drakthor for the last part of the watch and the two of you to head back to bed.
I will go wake Drakthor up.
Be careful.
And what do you do?
I'm going to like I'm assuming Drakthor's on a bed. Are you on a bed or a bedroll on the floor?
No, I'm on the floor.
Okay. So
I'm also going to be watching from a distance, just smirking.
So I am going
Drakthor.
to like slink down to like as low as I can on the floor and come up beside Drakthor and tap him a few times and just have the skull in my hand like raised up above me and just be like, "The morning Drakthor, the church."
Drakthor,
Hold on a
you
second. Go ahead.
do you need to roll something? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm just thinking. Go ahead, and then I'll tell you if I have to roll something.
So you come out of your sleep, Drakthor, and it takes like a couple seconds for your brain to kind of register, because dimly lit sanctuary, there is still like candles, but it's not like pitch. Holding the skull. But the first thing your blind kind of like, oh yeah, there's a skull with a foot of roots coming out of its forehead, just looking down at you.
Okay. I am going to roll. Odd. I react. No, I'm not gonna say violently. I react in a moving manner. Even I react in a get away from me, run manner. Just kind of. So. Drakthor kind of sits up and looks over at Run and just says, "You really need to find some new jokes."
I snicker and crawl back in my bedroll.
Drakthor then smiles at Run.
He's immune
gets
to your
up.
smile.
Say that again?
He's immune to your smile.
I know, but still.
All right, Drakthor, I need you to give me a perception as well.
And I am no longer under anything because I've had.
You will have completed your full long rest. So yes, you are no longer exhausted.
Perception? 3,
Yes.
18, 21.
21.
And Drakthor
You-
will, just so you know, Drakthor, as he gets up, he will, he's got his longbow on him, ready to go, but he has, one of his swords out and the other one in. And he will start walking the perimeter.
You do on your third pass. You kind of do a side like as you look down at Denia resting.
I didn't know Denia was with us.
Yeah.
She's at the altar.
Her mom stole that sword. Carry on.
No, the sword's still there.
Well, her mom
But
did
no,
something.
Drakthor, you look down, and for some reason, it took 2 laps, and then you like look down, and Denia was there the whole time, and yet lap 3, you look at her, and she's still there. But now you're questioning the last 2 laps. Like there was like suddenly something you're trying to think back. Like something was off and you didn't realize something might have been off. But clearly nothing was wrong, but now you're kind of going. But she's asleep.
So Drakthor kind of, as he keeps going around the perimeter, he now is going at half speed, half of what he was before. Slower. Looking around, he pulls out his other sword, and he puts them both up like this. So points are up. And he says, "All right, you two. Let me know what's going on. I need to figure this out. Something's wrong." And he just keeps walking, but he's trying to make sure. That's why he's slowed down. He's trying to make sure he's not missing something, if that makes sense. So
I
he's
hear you saying.
a little bit more focused all of a sudden, because now that would have tricked him, or would have tripped up that thought process in there. That okay, if that's the case, then I need to pay more attention, and I need to figure out what it is that's going wrong. And he still believes that his swords are magical enough that they're sentient. He just doesn't know how.
Oh, they're
They don't they don't respond. You do
And you're
2.
sleeping, Ron, so shush.
Yep. Don't worry. We'll get to that. On your second slow lap, you hear a slight, quiet latch turning as the door next to the altar opens, and you see Tirza in her bestial cleric garb kind of like poke her head in. And are your swords still up like this, or are they down?
Well, he's probably brought them down to about chest level, still pointed up, and he's still kind of talking to him, mumbling to him.
She's kind of goes over, looks down at Denia, and then proceeds silently with what appears to be, as you're doing your lap and she's doing hers. This is the time where she is doing her clerical pre-morning duties, refreshing candles, and kind of like in a silent
Would
Master Chief.
Drakthor Drakthor probably doesn't have a lot of experience with temples. They're not something that he would, being more of a nomad type, he probably wouldn't really have a lot of those where in his village area. However, with everything that's going on, does he get a sense of this is just normal and everything's okay, or does he pick up anything odd? I guess I
Insight.
would.
Give me an insight,
Okay.
if you please.
11.
It's a coin toss. You think this is normal, but you don't know what normal is. This could be abnormal. You really don't know. So you're kind of... You're not unnerved by everything, but neither are you so convinced of, oh yeah, this is just what happens, because you really don't know.
Okay. So he's not. I mean, he's probably at this point on the other side of the sanctuary.
Sanctuary?
Yeah, that she is. He's still kind of keeping an eye on her, but still kind of walking. So he just starts talking to the swords again. I need to know if this is normal. I need to know, is this what normal people do in a temple? Is this right? And so he's trying to figure this out.
Stealth to do this silently.
Yeah, you want me to roll stealth?
Yes, sir.
Well, just to give you I have a +8. And I got a nat 20 +8.
They remain quiet, and she does not appear to have noticed.
He's just he's at this point. I mean, his sword arms are resting, holding them. They're not up and ready to go. He's a little bit more comfortable. She hasn't done anything, so there's nothing that's really gonna happen, and he's just kind of still walking around.
I need your keys.
Now, we'll just take a brief moment, actually, while Draxler is doing this. Run. Draxler, you finish your laps, tears up, heads back. While this is occurring, Run, you fall back asleep relatively quickly. And I need you to set up what would be probably the most comfortable at ease dream Run would have.
Licking hit. Never mind.
I would probably say for Ron, it would
I
be.
stopped.
It would be back in the. It'd be back in the Cabal, prior to the Empress showing up. But Minerva would be there.
He's in love.
That's right.
You're in your village. For some reason, Minerva is there. You're aware of her, but it's almost like she's part of the set dressing of the dream and not an active participant. So she's there just kind of like just off to the side. but in that comfortable presence feeling where you know she's there, she's just not actively engaging with the dream. But
Mm-hmm.
you go through and you notice that turning the corner coming towards you, Run, is another kobold. Not quite so different from you, but their scale pattern is patchy. They're both green scale and gold. The green is a lot more, not like a forest green, a bit more fluorescent vibrant, more
More
safe.
lustrous.
Correct, so that the black scales or the coal scales don't get lost inside of the dark green forest. Almost kind of looks. And you've had patch scale kobolds before. They're rarer, but it's not uncommon. And this kobold just kind of does like a double take, sees you, waves, and kind of saunters up to you. Like you're an old friend. Ah, there you are, Run. You do not know who this kobold is, and yet you are not afraid. You're not unsettled. Just like in a dream, it's just, oh, hell, it makes sense. The kobold kind of, I must say, I need to thank you. Kind of looks up, blue sky above, and I cannot say how long it has been since I have seen the sun, smelled the wind. So I thank you, Run. It's okay. I just chose this to put you at ease. This. You would know me as the Mimics. You may call me the Twin.
Call him the what?
The Twin.
The twin. Oh, okay.
Oh, sweet.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be like, and your hand tastes nasty.
He's a kobold, of course he does.
I know
Never
you
know when
probably
it's
have
fault.
many questions, but we are in Dream. Would not have much time, but at the very least, I wanted to say thank you to you.
Yeah, for what?
For rescuing me.
You're welcome.
At this point, Run, you had birds, songbirds so often, but around now you start hearing like a chorus of birds kind of like start up a morning, or like I said at this point, an afternoon tune. You see Dream Minerva kind of look over and give a rare smile, like she's enjoying the bird song as well. It is rather pleasing. The kobold, for this point, let's say Dreambold, or the Twin. It has been very long time since I hear tune. I missed? You must have a question for me. Or query. Yes?
Yeah.
Oh boy. This ought to be good.
So, we're supposed to lift you up, and Ron doesn't understand.
It's confusing. I understand. The song kind of continues and walk with me. Yes?
Yeah.
Just over there. So the two green kobolds kind of walk down this thoroughfare of this little village. You understand, one would say demigod or divine. Yes, you understand.
Yeah.
Is difficult to, hence kobold visage to make easier for you to understand, not freak out. I always did like kobolds. Something about kobolds just feels more right, you know?
Yeah. We are the best.
We are. That we are. To answer question you have, how to rake. Hold on to remains. But keep head with you.
Well, yeah, it's like my friend.
But
Lord, give me strength.
he kind of like stops and kind of places a hand on your shoulder. This part very important. You listening?
Yes.
Moment will come soon. To wake. You must trust and let go. Understand?
I guess so.
Just go. When moment comes. When you hear. What should say? When you hear, let him awake. You know, to trust and let go. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
Promise?
I promise.
Offers his pinky towards you.
I will take his pinky.
At this point, suddenly there's as Dennis and others will attest, there's a sound of birds suddenly squawking and going silent. It's kind of discordant and kind of drops your stomach just a little bit when suddenly nature violently is kind of stops. And the kobold goes, he's here. Trust. And as he says that, the world around you suddenly becomes consumed in fire, almost like a wave.
Uh-oh.
And the kobold turns and runs as you feel something behind you run. A presence wreathed in flame pass over you. You can't. By this point is when the dream concludes. So you can't visually ascertain what passes over you to chase this kobold. But something passes over. Not to the side. Over. I will allow, in this split second before you wake, if you want to try and grasp something of a visage, something as a hold on to, you may attempt either a wisdom actually, yeah. Let us go wisdom. Give me a wisdom check to try and hold on to the split part of a dream.
Check or saving throw?
I'd say check. You're not quite. No, wait, hold on. This is fair. Wisdom saving throw. As there's something kind of pushing against you in this.
Okay. That would be a nat 20 for a 31.
Ooh. Oh, that's
Mm.
spicy.
This is the time for it.
I can tell you everything you want to know.
So in that split second as it passes over, I won't bring you into the other room just because I don't want to run into technical stuff. But you see a spherical form that seems to be on fire. But yet, as it passes over you, right before you wake up, tongues of fire kind of open. And it appears it doesn't make sense to you. But it looks like a being of 1,000 eyes, wreathed in flame, spinning around each other.
Creepy at all.
Don't like that. Hate it, in fact.
And because it was a nat 20 is the only reason you hold on to the fact that you remember the visual. Because otherwise you would have remembered the dream you had up to that point, but that something passed over you, but you don't remember what it was. Because of your nat 20, it was a being of fire, like eyes within eyes.
So it's a
Biblically accurate angel.
that's what it is. Yep.
One could
Okay.
say. Run, you awaken from your dream. As Drekthor. It is coming up at about 6:30, 7 in the morning.
Time for everybody to get
And-
up.
On that, you notice someone didn't get up yet.
We get our long rest before we get into this.
You may all long rest.
And who did I notice has not gotten up?
Well, there's no breakfast being started at the moment.
Hmm.
Bazil is usually up by this time.
I will briskly walk over to the cauldron.
You see Cinnamon just passed out next to it, just deep sleep.
I will tap on it lightly with the point of my sword and
Just-
whisper.
The sound of contact with metal against metal, Cinnamon kind of just keyblade just appears and just Dragthor, what are you doing?
Bazil isn't awake yet. He's always awake now.
It's,
I peer into the cauldron.
and you see Bazil with his pillow just kind of curled into a. You don't know how Bazil sleeps. I mean, it's a cauldron, it's not like there's much room, but he's in the fetal position, as far as you can tell, resting.
Do I sense anything? I mean, I can tell he's resting, but can I sense that he's not resting? Does that make sense?
You're trying to see if he's pulling one of those. Every person has tried this with their parents' sleep.
No, I'm trying to figure out if he's okay.
He twitching and screaming in his sleep.
Yeah, in other words, am I seeing him at rest but twitching like he's okay, so example, a sleeping animal will, depending on what their dreams are, will sleep in certain ways. Give you an example, a dog. A dog who's having good dreams and everything is usually a lot of times at rest, breathing normally. But if their dream becomes exciting in any way, shape, or form, whether scary or not, you can hear them, and so being a ranger, I would say that he would probably look for that.
Go ahead and give me a investigation, please.
Oh, crud. Can I give myself guidance?
I will allow, since you're kind of just looking at the cauldrons, like looking at Cinnamon's like they're
Okay.
still trying to wake up.
So the dice is an 18, and the guidance is going to be a 3, 19, 20, 21.
21.
I'm sorry, wait a minute. It's not a 21. The dice was a 16, and 3, it's a 19. If that makes a difference.
It does. You look in, you peer, and it looks like a dwarf in deep rest.
So, at that point, honestly, I'm going to be like, well, I know that I know he was dog tired. I know he needs to sleep. Doesn't matter that my stomach is grumbling and I really want food. I don't feel like there's an absolute need to wake Bazil unless Cinnamon tells me I should. So I will say something to Cinnamon about how he looks like he's sleeping so deep that a box of stones wouldn't wake him. And should I try to wake him or just let him sleep?
I mean, gee, that's unusual for him, but I mean, he did make contact, plead, intercede with his deity yesterday, and who knows what that took on him. I'd say it would go against probably our better judgments, but I would say let's just let him rest for the moment. We'll just make sure we put some food aside for him, and if he's not awake in 2 hours, we'll just wake him then.
Okay. So he will go back to. I'm assuming that everybody else is still asleep. Draktor is fully rested, so he's fine, and he has no problems with letting people sleep and rest, and even sleep in if they want. Everything's calm. So he.
You start to smell cooking dough coming from further in.
Is Tirza still in the?
She had completed her rounds inside the sanctuary and had gone back through the door.
Okay. So, Draktor is going to go to each person and check on them one last time before he begins to wake anybody up. He's looking for anyone who looks like they're probably close to being awake. And he's also trying to figure a good way to wake Run.
Well, you do that. You go through to check everybody. I would say for the Waymakers as a whole, your body's recovering from the corruption zone. This sleep was so deep and your bodies were like such a... There are some sleeps where your body overrides your natural circadian rhythm that you've established just out of survival necessity. So I will leave it on each player whether or not they will allow listen to their bodies and let it rest a bit longer, or whether they try and overrule it. But I'm just going to say, no one is going to be waking up at their normal time because of what the toll that was exuded upon your bodies. That said, is anyone waking right about the usual time that whoever the last watch is, about 7 in the morning, would be? I imagine Uli and Minerva would probably be the two that would be more likely to be awake. But are you? Let's start with Uli.
Well, Uli's learned to listen to his body, so if his body is making him rest longer, I'm going to say that he is going to rest longer.
So, Uli is still fast asleep directly when you get to him. Minerva, what about you?
Minerva is like befuddled by the lack of caffeine and kind of like slow to awaken without it. She's going to frown in the direction of the cauldron, but shrug and get on with making some form of breakfast.
So Minerva is awake.
I'm not the most charismatic of characters, but I have a degree of intuition. And let me see. I've got high insight. Call it instincts of, born from 10 years of being on the run and not trusting anybody. Can I roll an insight check to see if I sense the unusualness of this to the degree that it is implied?
Roll me a insight. You're no longer...
Flat. Yes. Yep. And can I add a guidance to that as well?
Who's providing?
Me.
Very well.
Dirty 20. Or sorry, dirty 21.
It's unusual. It's definitely breaking a habit. That said, you're kind of overruling your own body a little bit in this. And the dwarf did call upon a deity in a fight against a dragon yesterday, in the middle of a corruption zone that was taking a physical and probably mental toll on your bodies. Bazil, if there's ever a moment for Bazil's body to just overrule his own practicality and his pragmatism as a chef, it would be today. Whether that is going to be enough for you to just let the sleeping dwarf lie, Remains to be seen. But that is the conclusion you come to of, is it a break from the norm? Yes. Yesterday was not normal for him in the slightest. So, feasibly, this is why it is what it is right now. So you don't sense anything malicious. It is a break from the norm, but at least thus far, you have a readied explanation that you come to. But again, if this is enough for Minerva, is on you.
Minerva would. I feel like I rolled high enough in my head to earn the chance to peek into the cauldron.
Yes, I say you did. Roll high enough. This is just your bodies. Yep, you see a sleeping dwarf, but Cinnamon kind of just looks at you and just like, yes, they really took out of it.
I'm just gonna check on him. I just don't. He's never missed a morning, and we've been through hard stuff.
Yeah, but you didn't call. We haven't called a deity. I don't.
No, but we've
understand.
interacted with them.
Yes, but there's Minerva. There's interacted with them, and there is pleading with a personal deity to intercede, and they listen.
I just want to open them
Have
a
you
little
seen-
bit and just peek on
You
him.
can look, just don't.
I'm not gonna wake him. I just want to check on him, make sure he's breathing, not bleeding out somehow. I don't know. So I'm gonna peek into the lid of the thing.
You see Bazil sleeping. You see the rise and fall of the body as it's breathing. Curl up in the fetal position with the pillow, kind of at the bottom.
I want to read his face while I'm there. Is
Give me a investigation then, please.
24.
What was your question?
I want to see if his face shows signs of like nightmare or like distress. He did go through a lot yesterday.
You are getting the sense of $24. I would say you can't know for certain. You can only guesstimate. But what we can see is he is currently experiencing what one would call the sleep of oblivion.
Fair enough.
Sleeps of oblivion have various reasonings. Some of the time it's because you're so stressed out that your body finally just overrules your mind and just you succumb to oblivion.
You just
And you're
give
just-
in.
Yep, and you are technically, figuratively dead to the world. Whether that's what is happening, you don't know. But his body is in an oblivion sleep.
I may have that tonight.
That's not the technical term. I don't know what the technical term of that is, but you all know what I mean.
I get you. Great, that's what I wanted to do.
Can I ask you a question real quick, DM? Is there an
Sure.
area within the sanctuary where, since we're now that Minerva is awake, Cinnamon is somewhat awake?
No, there is
There's-
not enough room for you to do your sword exercises.
Yes. Is there
There's
anywhere
not-
like that?
Not in the
Okay.
sanctuary.
Not in the sanctuary.
I saw where you were
Oh.
going, and no. You could try, but it's... Actually, you know what? Hey, Draxthor, I need you to please roll me a intelligence save.
You're a jerk.
Yes, I
5.
am. But this is Draxthor we're talking about. Draxthor does not care. The morning routine will happen. Whether or not a wooden pew gets in the way of my swords, oh well!
Dracthor
They're all-
tries to make himself enough room and begins his routine.
You do this to yourself, Dennis. You rolled a character with such low. You make these comments I'm like, well, now let's see if Dracthor is wise enough to not act upon what the character or the player just said. So now I need you to please roll me acrobatics.
Oh, well, that's good. I hope.
Avoid destroying the sanctuary.
Okay. 16, dirty 20.
At a dirty 20, there are a couple of close calls where you see Tirza start coming in about halfway through with some trays, what looks like food, kind of bringing them in. And you almost lose your sword directly into one of the pews, but you're able to like save it just barely, and she with a natural 20 she catches it, and she just, the mama bear just kind of glares at you, and there's ever so slightly just a little bit of discomfort that you just kind of like, okay, I just think we should make this a shorter wake-up exercise today. Okay.
Dracthor kind of stretches him out like this and brings him back in and says, okay, guys, I'm going to put you away now. You know what to do. He puts him away.
They run, though, because Run is awake by this point, because I'm tracking a couple steps. You said you were going to see if Run was going to be awake, how you're going to wake Run. Run, by the time you get to him, is blinking and awake.
Yeah,
So you do not get to wake Run. Run is already awake.
Of course.
But that said, hey, Run, about 5 minutes after you wake up, you see this acrobatic near fail occur, and then Dracthor talk to his swords.
I hate you.
Hey, I'm just the one who sees the fuel, and I'm just like... So, if you so choose, Run. The moment is there.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna completely throw. I will throw my voice, but I am gonna go from like the gut, back of the throat.
The type that the DM's not even going to attempt to replicate
Yeah.
because I might tear my vocal cords.
And so I'll
Why have you done this to me?
yeah, basically. Let's see. So with the performance of
Please.
of a 23,
You might want to also do a either persuasion or a stealth check on that.
I will I'll throw my voice to the swords and
What are you doing? You almost dropped us.
Dracthor.
Okay. He looks at me and goes, well, she brought in food. What did you expect? Thought you were going to distract me. Puts him away.
By this
Can I-
point,
Is there anything I can roll to see if I understand what's going on or not? I'm just curious.
give me a... At disadvantage, give me wisdom.
Yeah, okay. Only because it's
You
plus
have-
8.
Well, also because thus far you haven't had a reason to guess that someone's...
That's true. Okay, a 10 because it was a 2.
Yeah, no, you're...
Yep. Not
you're-
even.
You have very either shy weapons or you just haven't figured out how to ask things properly. Or they have an attitude.
He's gonna think on that, ponder on that somewhat, unless the food distracts him enough, which that very well could.
By this point, Denia is gotten up and she's helping Tirza bring in the rest of breakfast into the sanctuary by the altar. Cinnamon's like wraps the cauldron with her keyblade, is like, wakey wakey, Bazil, A's and Bakey. Just giving you the time to wake up before it's time to eat. Come on, get up. A groggy, bedheaded Bazil just kind of pokes his head out of the cauldron and just... Food. Right. 5 more minutes, Cinnamon. Rick said, Nope, you've had enough. We were kind to let you sleep a little longer, but no. Come on. So you were, some begrudgingly and some more than willingly, arriving for breakfast. Nothing magical about this. It's just meager yet hearty portions. Biscuits and gravy.
Ooh. Draxor likes biscuits and gravy.
There's some meat with the gravy, so yeah. And the biscuits, they're warm.
Yep, sounds good. Holy will enjoy his breakfast. Still not quite awake yet, so super talkative. But well, he's going to be once he gets most of his meals done. He's go. All right. So I think we found the true route. So talk about what we want to get completed next. We still. Remind me if I'm missing anything. We need to get the true route to Shadrian, correct? We need to somehow awaken the twin. We need to don't we need to make Dalger is supposed to meet with Denia to have that meeting, right? Am I missing anything?
Tirza, who is eating breakfast with you all, has given you a look. 2 steps back. Thank you for... Well, may as well trust this step. Denia. There was a young gentleman with this group who is claiming that he is your brother. I firmly was against him going into the corruption zone with them, as I felt I had, as your mother, to check his character first and to prep you and inform you and not have you just get blind rushed by some random gentleman claiming that they were your brother. Denia's eyes kind of narrow, but the... Okay. So he's going to meet with me today, then. Yes? Should get done as soon as possible, yes. But we're going to put a pin on that because it looks to Bazil. Which, Fort Run, the Furbolg is back. Unless Bazil Uli. Unless Uli has resumed his disguise form.
Not yet. They're not in public yet.
Okay, so, yes. Uli is back. Run.
Oh no, where's the
Weird.
bun?
The Salt and Pepper Man is gone. Right, Jesse. Run did not take kindly to the fact that
I basically had to talk him down like a dog encountering a stranger for the first time.
Here's
It's quite
the thing.
hilarious.
Scary man is gone.
Uli, I need you to back two steps for me.
Yes, dear sir.
And I need you to. I want to make sure I want to make sure I heard that correctly. You got the person who brought you, told you to get the true route, is the Shadrian.
That's right, guys. I'm not messing that up, am I?
Dractor's like, yes, that's who it is.
No, that's correct.
Yeah, I thought so.
Nice
Right,
guy.
is that,
Angel.
confusing? Don't know what else to tell you. He's called.
This is you did not mention his name the first time you said this was the reason why you were here.
Nobody asked.
Yeah.
She's a little paler, but doesn't say anything.
I'm guessing you know this being.
Reputation only, I'm afraid, but I am familiar. Yes.
What do you know?
That he is something close to what would pass as a demigod now. Some trio of beings that call themselves the Dovene.
Let's see. 1, 2. This is number 3. We got one I met, the one you met. I think he looks to Cinnamon, right? Cinnamon's the one that met him first, right?
No, I met him first.
Draxler met the Shadrian.
Mm-hmm.
Uli met
Yeah,
Denevos.
he's like, I'm the one I met, the one you met. Was there a third one? I mean, I know there's the one that we all met, and we were looking for Denia. Was there another one? There was the weird dragon lady. I don't know if she counts.
She kind of stops and, I'm sorry. You encountered a Dovene in your search for Denia?
Yeah. He helped us out.
Denia kind of
Impressive.
go on.
Not much to tell. He told us he helped us when we ended up in that other realm, that super depressing one where everything was trying to kill us.
Well, that's
Make
what he
sure
told
that
us. We had to wake the twin.
That's right, yeah. He's the one that told us that.
Before Tirza could, who this entire time her complexion is getting paler and paler. Denia, did he identify himself at all? What name did he give?
Take you.
He gave the hold on, called Remnant, I think. Remnant.
Remnant.
Yeah.
Remnant. Trying to think. I feel like there was another one.
Well, there's only Denia kind of is smiling. It's like there's, well, as far as we are aware, we knew of two. There was a rumored third. Do we actually know how many Dovine there are? No, it's they're.
Yeah, because I mean, I swear, like Minerva, you told us about that weird child one that you met too. That seemed a little iffy. I don't know if that falls in the same category, but as all the same time that me and Jackthorpe met the other ones.
I don't believe she actually introduced herself as a Dovine DM.
No,
She did not, however.
Yeah, this is.
Is it
Yeah,
strongly
Uli's not
implied?
saying that you said that. Uli's going. Well, we met one. You know, I met one then. Drakthor met one then, and you met some weird girl that was painting random things and giving prophetic sayings. So who knows? Maybe that's what.
Tirza's complexion
sorry,
drops.
I was correcting my own knowledge. I wasn't correcting you, Jesse. Continue.
Places a hand and kind of lowers Denia's. This little girl painting pictures of a pseudo-prophetic. This didn't happen to be inside of a building.
Back door. Entry sensor open.
Yeah, the
Where
way
you-
in.
Yeah, it was real
Things
weird.
in-
We walked in. All of us kind of had this weird individual hallucination / vision thing, and then we walked out, and then it was gone.
Cinnamon kind of just, it's where, looks around to borrow one of his, allegedly, Drakthor met Desadrian at Dovine, which we met later on, but supposedly, Uli said he encountered one there, but yeah, that was right before we got to the wilds proper.
Door. Entry sensor open.
That's where you, Cinnamon. That's where you met Dalger, or did you met Pollux? I don't remember which one you met.
Uli goes, or Bazil goes, no, I met Dalger there.
Right.
Cinnamon goes, that's where Palos. If anyone would wish to make a insight
Yes.
into Tirza, you may, if you wish, shoot.
I'm gonna try it.
I rolled an 11.
8.
15 plus 3 is 18.
21.
I say, please tell me that Draxor is not the smartest one in the bunch right now.
Let me see what Bazil got an 18 and Cinnamon got Even when I am rolling for Rachel, Cinnamon
saw
rolled a
that.
one. I am so sorry, Rachel. It would have been funny if that was the moment they turned in. I would say run.
Baby.
You all see Tirza through the course of, from the moment Uli mentions the Shadrian. Her demeanor stiffens. But as you explain, she maintains composure, but her skin is getting paler and paler as if each new thing is kind of revealing more. But after this last one, run. You all could see this, but run. When she asks about this building that the rest of your party, you didn't experience. You weren't part of them yet.
Right.
But this way in, there is something about what they're explaining about a building where they went in, something different happened, and they all came out. Something about that has intentionally unnerved her more than everything else. You don't have the context as to why, but for some reason, there is a familial fear that you sense. No one else reads. Everyone else just sees someone who's getting more and more seemingly just disturbed. But Run reads, there's a familial fear.
And this is Tirza.
Correct. Denia's... Well, Mom, doesn't that mean that the... Yes, it does. Don't speak of them.
So I'll look at Tirza and just be like, Miss Tirza, my friend wants to ask you a question, and I'll pull the skull up beside me. You seem scared. Yeah, flapping the skull's mouth open and closed. Is everything okay? Don't be scared. Ren will protect you.
Just... You all need to understand. When I and my compatriots came here with Denia those decades ago, we came out of the East. In the last 2 decades, we've spent unpacking and trying to understand the tangled web of events and seeing whether there is something more underneath. That is all I will say, but I cannot deny that the fact that a Dovene conscripted you, that you've all encountered not 1, not 2, but 3 Dovenes, and that you are inside what you described to be almost like a building that is not what it appears to be. With, I hesitate to ask, what might be 3 women running it. Just What I will say is that place is an omen. That a shift is due. And something is imminent.
Any elaboration on what you're talking about? This shift?
Has this happened before in history?
Before Tirza she is clearly, like, for some reason, Mama Bear has been shaken, and Denia just, not like sensing weakness, kind of just, well, allegedly something occurred like this right before the Empire collapsed. And there was a, Mother, didn't you say there was something in the village of Cadrestem right before the events that transpired with that war? In the aftermath? Right before major political upheaval occurred. So, just didn't realize this was... Denia kind of like stands, and the more you explain who you have encountered, the more I'm beginning to wonder who you all are.
Well, my name is Ron.
Yes, hi, Ron. That was not
Honestly,
You know what?
are all
Fair.
We are all just a bunch of misfits. I mean, I'm an old cartographer. We've got a tracker from Dragonspine. We've got Artificer. Oh, we got Ron here.
chef.
Yeah, we got a dwarf chef and his known bodyguard, but none of us are what we call no offense to you guys, but none of us are what you would call,
Special.
legends of myth and history.
It's like, Denia will... Can't fault you there, and I don't mean to disrespect you, also don't strike me as the ballad level heroes. That said, it answers some questions. You all notice a look pass between Denia and Tirza. Momentarily, but a definite look, like an unspoken. Tirza will. I think that. I do not wish to intrude upon you all further. Clearly, you have a objective to finish. If the Shadrin did indeed hire you, then there is, well, best return to them. But
Oh, we will as soon as Dalgier gets his meeting.
that's what I wished to. I have striven to get a read on that young man and sought your other compatriots to no avail.
Hollis is still missing.
Wouldn't come out of his room.
but he's in there.
Unless I checked.
Yeah, we've never had what you'd call a grasp on either of those two.
Which is why I want you all to sit in on this meeting. Please. Denaya, just... Mom, nothing's going to happen. Tirza. You don't get a say in this. Run away.
Minerva flinches.
You will need to check in with, I imagine, Cece. I don't know. I guess you should probably run into the rest of your group and let Mr. Dagier know that this conversation can occur whenever, preferably today. And picks Denaya up, like, for the moment. She is not to be let out of your sight.
Draxor looks over at her and says, "Is there a way to go CCC without being seen by everybody?"
She shakes her head. No. You'll have to go through the fronts. Deny, like, oh, but don't worry. I picks up the sword and just...
Have you tried
The sword
asking it?
vanishes.
Oh gosh. Did you do that? Ah.
Interesting. Definitely never did that for us.
You attuned.
She's talkative.
It never spoke to me.
Yeah, what did she say?
Not for your ears. It says, I am its master.
By what right?
I kind of asked the same, and she says, I know. You are my master.
So, jumping out of player for a minute, we know this girl is not the biological child of Tirza, the woman standing in front of us.
And Tirza has acknowledged as much.
Did we ever find out where she got her from?
We never bothered
No.
to ask.
You never bothered to ask.
Does Denaya know that she's not the biological child of her mother?
You haven't asked.
I'm going to make a mental note to talk to Tirza when Denaya's not around.
Uli would like to make some observations while she's playing with the sword and whatnot.
Yes, you may. Because I know what you're thinking. So just go ahead and give me your insight. Uli, I would say, given what it is you're trying to insight, and given your history and age, you may make this at advantage.
That sucked. Try again.
While Uli's doing this, Dractor is filling his plate with more food.
Natural 20. I'm gonna take a
Woo!
Woo! Everybody's getting natural 20s today.
Except me. I'll never see one again.
Oh, you'll see one.
Yeah, as it walks past me on its way to y'all.
Since this will not disrupt the
There you go.
nice. Since this will not disrupt the recording, it'll just be for a brief moment. Hey, Uli, you want to follow me into the other voice chat really quick?
Heck
Mhm.
yes.
She said depends.
Depends. Yeah, no,
Maybe.
that's the only appropriate. That's the only appropriate response.
Yeah.
I wonder if this girl isn't the heir.
That's the only thing that they can be.
I mean, the sword never reacted to any of us like that, and I don't know.
Wasn't the one that says he's her brother? Wasn't he with us when Draxor had the sword?
Who? Brother? She
Yeah.
never. Denia doesn't have a brother, does she?
Yeah. What's his name? The one that came with us.
Oh, Paulos.
No, the other one.
Yes, the
Dagier.
other one. Yeah, Dalger.
He was with us when Draxor had the sword,
Yeah.
and the sword never reacted to him.
Time out. Time out for a second, Dennis. How do we know he's telling the truth?
Well, that's what I'm saying. We don't, but
He
if
he could be
somehow
trying
we,
to get the heir
hmm
and hurt
If-
and kill her or something, or otherwise.
exactly.
Okay.
So if-
Okay.
Yeah.
Good catch. Good catch.
All right, we are back, and the recording should not be messed up since it was just a brief time. So,
That's right.
Uli, you glean that. From your kind of looking, Denia kind of just. Can I help you? I don't want to say old man because that's rude, but
I pipe up, but accurate.
but not untrue.
Yes.
Oh, I apologize. I don't mean to stare. I just I don't think we asked. Like, what is your guys' story? What's your connection? I mean, we were all trying not to die, but like, how do you know Tirza? Like, I know. How does? I mean, I'm curious. What's the connection?
She's my adoptive mom. They found me on the street and kind of took me in. They were fleeing the. What was it called, Mother? The Third Reunification War? Something like that, and they headed west. Brought me with them, and her group became my family. The little kobold, all of them kind of raised me out here. Taught me what I know. Little Zigum, Penny, Farron, and I don't think you met him, but there's another gentleman, Landair. Kind of taught me everything I know. Been here since.
What city were you found in? You said you were found in the streets. Was that here?
Oh, no. It was found in Tirza says Hadrastem.
And this was what, 30 years ago? So.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. A lot of, when that the whole political upheaval happened over there.
I see that here's a kind of I need to go clean up, and I cannot keep the chapel locked forever. You're all gonna have to head out. Denia, go make yourself ready, and please, I'm grateful you can keep that thing away. Keep it out of sight, please. All right, Mom. As she leaves, Tirza will. Mr. Uli, would you help me with these plates? Bring them back to the scullery.
Happy to.
You all notice, like, loads Uli up with 2 to 2.5 loads, as if what should take 2 to 3 trips, she is attempting to get done in 1. She loads herself up too, but it is very obvious if she comes back, this was getting done in 1 go. And her and Uli leave. And just sees you all staring. I think we got it. Thanks. Be with you in a moment. Does any of the rest of the Waymakers do anything?
Well, I think we're. No matter what, we gotta wait for Uli. Draxor's packing all his stuff up, making sure everything's ready. No, he's not talking to his swords.
Cinnamon gets stuff ready. Bazil kind of gets his cauldron, puts it into like the bag of holding. He's a little more. He's not talkative, but he seems a little more low than he usually is.
Does Draxor pick up on that?
He's not trying to hide it.
Draxor will go over to him. I mean, he thinks the world of Bazil anyway, so he will go over to him and ask him, Bazil, is everything okay?
Oh, yes. Everything's fine. I'm just still not quite here from yesterday. Still feeling a little short. Points to, like, shows you the brand on his hand. Because I have to deal with this now.
If you need any help.
Anything else? Actually, could you take here, the pillow that Tirza gave me?
Draxor takes it and he kind of looks at it. Not quite sure what to do with it. Kind of stuffs it in his backpack.
No, give it back to make a pile of laundry.
Oh, okay. he thought Bazil was wanted it for later.
Run, Minerva.
Yes.
Do the two of you have anything you wish to do?
No.
No.
Cinnamon's just kind of keeping an eye on Bazil, but Draxor, I'd say you notice Cinnamon is kind of giving him another look too, like, hey, are you okay? Meanwhile, Uli, make your way. You follow Tirza to the scullery to place the dishes, and she, as you put the dishes down, all right, Florbolg, you are going to tell me exactly what you are thinking right now.
Just confirming that, looking into the story myself, Dalgier mentioned that that his sister went missing from Hodgerston, and was, during the chaos that happened there. That's just making sure that the facts line up.
And I am telling you, that man is not her sister. She has no family.
Can I insight check her?
You may.
All right, 22.
When she says she has no family, there is definitely a withholding in a technically correct, but reading between the lines go, but technically correct does not always mean truthful. So you are reading she is technically correct when she said she has no family. But that's not also true from what you're reading.
I understand there can be a lot of fear involved in you have somebody important to you, and there's a risk that relationship could change, be different. But I need you to be honest with me.
Who are you? How long have you been on this side?
The whole time.
Then you remember what was before. You remember then the wars, the chaos that came from that vacuum.
Very vividly.
I am not going to let her. She's not ready.
How will giving her more family, how will that push her into anything other than any of what you fear? What you fear, if it's true, and Uli gives her a meaningful look, like that he's following. You fear what's true, it's coming. Whether or not she's ready. Wouldn't it be better he has more allies than not?
I need you to give me a persuasion.
Joy. Okay. +0.
That's how I feel when I get an intelligence check.
Alright, I'm gonna use my inspiration. This is important. I'm gonna use my inspiration on this one.
Alright.
Come on. Damn it. I got an 8 as the highest.
Use the 20s.
Oh. You know, I will do that. I will use a die of fate.
I'm just. I mean,
I think
my God.
narratively this does make sense for certain reasons. Now, as a reminder, this will trump any other roll. So even if this gets a nat 1, you lose the 8.
Yeah, well, it's no. All or nothing.
Mhm.
You have a preference on resin or metal for this?
I want metal.
Bronze, silver, or gold?
Oh.
Go for the gold, baby.
You present this case to try and, wouldn't she need more allies? But that's not what you say, because you feel like you say something worse, and you see her reaction, but almost like in a dazed, half asleep. Like something pulls you out of that and then puts you in the same place, but you say what you actually meant to say. And instead of a reaction of a coldness setting in, there's almost like a small crack crumbling of relief. That's why I'm leaving her with you. Because I can't trust him. Because I can't trust any of them. But you? She leans in. You will say nothing. Until she says, in her time, I will turn you into a rug. And you will feel it the entire time. If you breach this trust and speak before she is ready. Do you understand?
And although I would make a fantastic rug, I'm just saying.
Yes, very chic.
Very rare.
Yes.
Uli, you are now at level 1 exhaustion as a wave seems to follow you from that possible outcome that almost was.
Thank God for those 20s.
Well, rolled a 17.
Yeah, but that's better than
Mm.
the 8.
Just considering what is at. The best part is, you all are just hearing half the conversation. Jesse knows the context behind this conversation. So when he says, you said you probably use the die of fate of like, he understands just what actually is happening at stake. And you all do not have the full picture yet.
Mm.
I wonder if Draxler will ever get the full picture.
In good time. Uli's just privy to certain things ahead. As you head back, Tirza does, though, kind of turn and look at you and gestures to her long, high elf ears and kind of... Do you miss it, then?
Every day. Every hour of every day.
Maybe they won't have to wait much longer, then. Yeah?
Be a life goal I never thought I could ever see. Yeah. It'd be beautiful.
It's not to keep the rest of your compatriots waiting. They'll start to get suspicious.
Not all that insightful.
Rude.
And then walk out.
Ain't
Wow.
not wrong, but rude.
I know.
It's hurtful. Dang.
So-
I think Draxler liked you.
You all... Uli returns with Tirza. And as we close this evening, there is a knock at the chapel door. Here's a It is entirely she's making down the sanctuary and just an escalation of door knocks. It's nice.
Tirza, you usually have parishioners so very eager to worship. A little fanatic.
It's not a parishioner, I'm pretty sure. Opens the door as you see two forms. One is trying to hold back another. As you see Dalger with his fist raised as if he was going in for another knock. With one arm kind of being pulled as you see Paulos desperately trying to corral him.
Mm.
And you see as we close, Dalger looks at all of you, locks eyes at Denia, who's just finally. And that is where we are going to close tonight. We did not
Nice.
end up having our wonderful beverages with us, so what transpired with Bazil will happen next time. So we will backtrack for that, and context will be given to why Bazil is the way he is today. But that is all for us tonight. Thank you for joining us. We will be back next week. As always, we're the Holy Rollers. God bless. God bless. Have a good night. We'll see you next time.
Good
Have a
night.
good night.